Michigan's newly renovated Chrysler Center, home to one of college basketball's most talented and exciting teams. Tonight, the Wolverines find Purdue knocking at their door. With a stingy defense, they have won 3 straight. Purdue's going to need all that momentum and more. Michigan is ready to claim #1 in the land if they can get through this week in the Big Ten. Over the past 2 years, the Wolverines are 26-1 here at home. That lone loss, it was the Boilermakers here in Ann Arbor. Tyrone Johnson had 22 points last February 25th. The Wolverines' Trey Burke shot just 4 of 12. Purdue topped Michigan by 14 then. Tonight, they're looking for an even bigger win. Can Michigan stay the course to the top? We will find out right now. Welcome you to Thursday Night Showcase, presented by T. Rowe Price. Tonight, from a sold-out Chrysler Center here in Ann Arbor, it is #2 Michigan facing a much-improved Purdue team. Good evening, everybody. Glad you're with us. Joe Tessitore alongside Sean Farnham. Sean, #1 Duke gets blasted last night, and the storyline of the college basketball season continues. Who can stay atop the mountain as #1? Many feel this Michigan team has long been the most dynamic. We'll see if they can prove it tonight, but still, anything can happen this season.
Anything can happen, and this is a Purdue team that is starting to compete better at the defensive end of the floor, and part of that, Coach Painter told us, is because of their offense. They're slowing down the pace, limiting possessions, which is a key tonight against the Wolverines.
Let's go one-on-one, and let's focus on the court vision of the Wooden Award candidate, Trey Burke.
Trey Burke is the Colin Kaepernick of college basketball. He sees option 1, sees how the defense is trailing, knows that he's got the open man from behind. Go ahead and finish at the rim. So dangerous in the open floor. Meanwhile, for Purdue, it comes down to toughness. They need to have hustle plays, and DJ Bird, the senior, he's won in this building before. He knows what it's going to have to take to get another victory here tonight, and it starts with his toughness.
Purdue with a couple of key freshmen in their starting lineup. 7-footers A.J. Hammond. Their offense runs through him. Then there's the younger of the brothers Johnson, Ronnie Johnson. He's improved in recent weeks. No coincidence that Boilermakers have been playing well in recent weeks. As for the Wolverines, many feel the best collection of backcourt talent around. Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway Jr., and then there's Little Dog. Original big dog, of course, Glenn Robinson, was one of Purdue's all-time greats. Glenn Robinson III, now facing off with Dad's alma mater. And here is Ronnie Johnson, freshman from Indianapolis. All started to click for him about a month ago. His brother wears that 0 on his jersey, Tyrone Johnson. Ronnie, unable to connect to open up the game. Long rebound, though, goes to Tyrone.
Purdue, a very good offensive rebounding team. Michigan's got to show up their defensive glass, but good patience on the opening possession for the Boilermakers.
Johnson hits the 3 to start the game. Tyrone Johnson, leading scorer for Purdue.
Now, coming into conference play, he's really elevated his play, averaging better than 15 points per game, and a great first possession for Purdue. They get the offensive rebound, uncontested, wide open 3-point shot.
And a 3 on the other end from Stauskas.
Understand, he is one of the premier 3-point shooters in all of college basketball. He's been in a little bit of a slump as of late, but a big shot for him.
Bird now. That's his preferred distance. Rebound on the inside, Jordan Morgan. Here comes Burke. Trey Burke.
His ability to get the ball, see the floor, see the lane, and attack is so dangerous. And that's exactly what Matt Painter has called a timeout for. Because when you've got one of the premier guards in all of college basketball, you can't let him get in the open floor, and nobody stop him.
Trey Burke averaging a career best 18 points, over 7 assists a game. Wooden Award candidate for National Player of the Year.
Primarily, Michigan's played their man-to-man defense, but staple for Coach Beeline. They jump into it on this possession and give Purdue a different look.
Ronnie Johnson now penetrating, tried to find inside with Carroll. Ends up in the hands of Bird. 6 on the shot clock here. And that is good from Rayfield Davis.
Davis, one of the freshmen in the starting lineup. He is starting to emerge at the offensive end of the floor. And for a team that at times can struggle to score, and they need the components, the sum of the parts is the key for Purdue at the offensive end.
Burke to Hardaway. And Hardaway nails his first shot of the night. Tim Hardaway Jr., Big Ten Player of the Week after last week's efforts against Minnesota, went for 21 and 5 rebounds. Michigan 3 for 3 to start the game. Johnson matched up with Stauskas. Here's Bird again. At the rim, long rebound goes to Davis. Freshman Ronnie Johnson handling the point duties for Purdue. Brother Tyrone uses the screen, spin move, right hand, and fights for the rebound there. And it'll stay with the Boilermakers.
And we talked about the Colin Kaepernick of college basketball. Trey Burke, watch this play. As he gets the ball, go ahead and roll it out, fellas. He's going to get his hands on the ball as he drives baseline. Freeze it right there. He sees his option here. This is his first look. It's not his best option, so he knows this one's open in the corner. He alters his pass in the air. He finds a wide open, uncontested look from the outside. Just a great read by one of the great guards in college basketball.
Here's Bird now. Takes a step in with the left hand, and he's able to connect and tie the game at 8.
And Purdue, though, doing an excellent job getting good high percentage looks at their offensive end right now.
Tim Hardaway Jr. Stauskas tried to find McGarry on the feed. Turnover, and John Beeline, we had a visit with Michigan's coach. Spent some time this week, Sean, refocusing on the basic defense and fundamentals as they got a bit of a break in what he says coming up will be an NBA-type schedule in Big Ten play.
3 games, a very short period of time, having to work through that. And right now, Johnson's working.
Johnson had 22 here last year.
Well, and you've mentioned that now twice, and there's something to that as a player. When you played in the building and you played well, you come back and you remember that feeling. And if you can channel that, you can have success. And Johnson in the early stages has done just that.
Getting through the line and drawing the foul.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence. And in part by Parker, starring Jason Statham and Jennifer Lopez. Starts tomorrow only in theaters. And DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Purdue's been blessed with some great ones through the years, but how about one of the greatest of all time, Glenn Robinson at the college level. Remember, Wooden Award winner, averaging 27.5 points a game, 9.7 rebounds over 2 years at Purdue, went on to become the first pick in the NBA draft. And the storyline continues right here to Ann Arbor.
He plays with such great toughness. He played with such great energy. Had that knack for scoring, and his son has that same knack. You see the field goal percentage, but in this building in particular, the last 4 home games, he's averaging close to 17 points, per contest, shooting better than 69%. So here at home, Glenn Robinson III, he can get it done.
Trey Burke at the line. He was fouled by A.J. Hammond, 7-footer for Purdue.
And Trey Burke already making an impact in this game. 3 points, going for 4 here, but he's got 2 assists on the other 2 made field goals, and that's the first miss overall.
And nearly a putback underneath by McGarry. Michigan 3 field goals. Burke involved in all 3. Has one of them and a couple assists. Lonnie Johnson picks up his dribble, gives way to his brother Tyrone. DJ Bird not benchful at all.
With 3-point shot, such an important part of any offense that he's going to provide. And in the last 3 games in particular, shooting the ball with much better consistency. 52% from behind the arc, and they need to see.
Stauskas hit the side of the net there. Purdue is 4 of 6 on their 3-point attempts.
Where a 3-point shot can keep you in the game and can get you going. And this one, long range. And that's beyond, well beyond NBA 3-point range for DJ Bird, who, by the way, you see carryover. Who was the first person out getting up game shots for Purdue tonight? DJ Bird.
Bird with a long rebound. And Davis can't get the bench to go. Glenn Robinson the third with the rebound. Michigan trailing by 5 here. Hardaway. And that is stolen by Davis. And Davis takes it strong and swatted away by Hardaway Jr. Stauskas now. No call there as Lonnie Johnson comes up with it. Strong start for Purdue. Bird, he's had the hot hand bounce pass to the 7-footer, and A.J. Hammons finishes underneath. 16-9 Purdue.
The easy basket for Hammons, though, was all predicated upon DJ Bird creating the space, finding the lane, and all Hammons had to do was catch and finish.
Back-to-back turnovers for Michigan. Purdue on a 10-1 run. Remember, a couple weeks ago, they had a chance to ascend to #1 in the country. That helps from Trey Burke. A couple weeks ago, #1 was toppled like we saw last night, and then Michigan went out and lost to Ohio State when they started that game a little soft.
It was a wild night in college basketball overall. Drake winning, beating Creighton. One of those losses for a ranked team last night. They just kept coming, and it was a little bit wild, a little bit hectic, but that Miami win was awfully impressive.
Sure was. Hurricanes taking down the Blue Devils. Jerome Johnson side-rimmed it, and GR3 gets another rebound. Pushing it ahead, it'll stay with Michigan.
Michigan.
Saturday, ESPN's college basketball features 2 good matchups at noon. Big East battles. 5th-ranked Louisville takes on a Georgetown team that we just saw as they shut down Notre Dame the other night. Then at 7, North Carolina against 18th-ranked NC State. NC State, of course, toppled #1 Duke and then ended up losing to Maryland and Wake Forest after that. Sean?
I'll tell you what, TJ Warren needs to better understand how to use Twitter than what he chose to do this week, retweeting a negative tweet about your head coach. And I'll tell you what, I don't think he would have tweeted that out after they beat Duke. But because you take a loss at Wake, the young freshman showed his immaturity.
Couldn't agree with you more. You can go to ESPN.com and read up on that story, what happened with the tweeting at NC State. And you're being kind saying it was a negative tweet.
Well, look, you have to have that understanding. The team philosophy, you bond closer together in losses. When you lose, it's easy to fall apart. Look at the Lakers right now in the NBA. The wheels have fallen off the wagon. As a group and a young group and a talented group like NC State come together.
What a soap opera out there in LA it has become. Well off the mark that time was Glenn Robinson III.
And it's just good to see John Horford on the floor. This young man has dealt with a lot of injuries over the course of his career. Last year, a stress fracture limited him to just 9 games. He had a sprained knee earlier this year. Then he dislocated his kneecap. He's finally back at 100% and adds some much-needed depth down low.
Anthony Johnson picked up his first moments ago. Three Johnsons, two of them are related on Purdue. Tyrone and Ronnie, 0 and 3, the brothers. Number 1 is Anthony Johnson, the sophomore from Chicago.
Well, Johnson subs in for Johnson. It can get confusing if we just called the game like that.
It's going to become Abbott and Costello in a matter of moments.
Who's on first?
Here is Hardy collecting the inbound. Paris LeVert checked in for the Wolverines. Trailing by 5. Hardaway Jr. And he nails the 3 to cut into that lead.
What I love is a lot of time players cut off the screens and they want to massage the basketball and try to identify exactly where they should go. There was no hesitation for Hardaway that time. He came off, his feet were set, elevate up over the top and knock it down.
2 long balls early here for Tim Hardaway Jr. Bird, and he is connecting here in Ann Arbor. 8 points for DJ Bird. 19-14, 5-point lead for Purdue against number 2.
5 3-pointers already made in this game for the Boilermakers.
There's LeVert now, top of the arc, matched up with Donnie Hale. Gives way to Trey Burke. Anthony Johnson pushing ahead. Ronnie Johnson now. A little shake and bake from Ronnie. Are you kidding me from Bird? Overflowing with confidence, Shaw.
That was a little bit of a heat check.
And it's going to go to Purdue. Oh, now he turns it the other way. We're going to take a quick break, and we ask the question, who has the best backcourt in the nation? Twitter responses welcome, Mr. Farnham. Talk about talent here when it comes to the guard play, Sean. Michigan filled with it in the backcourt.
This is the time of year where backcourts start to garner the attention, and they really do deserve it because in conference play, you have to rely on them to manage your offense against teams that know every system and set that you want to run.
Tim Hardaway Jr., a couple of 3-pointers tonight. We look at our Twitter poll question. We ask, who's the best backcourt duo in the nation? You can tweet us your choice using hashtag #BestBackcourt, and we will give you the results in the second half. The best backcourt in the country, hashtag #BestBackcourt.
And we've given you 4 options there. There's clearly those around the country going to say, well, what about Florida? Florida probably deserves to be in the mix. What about Cincinnati? With Kilpatrick and how well he's playing. There's some great combos of backcourts, and this might be the best. I'll be interested to see what everybody has to say in the Twitter world.
Hardaway and Burke with 11 points. The rest of the team has 3. You are a big Twitter guy.
I love going on.
By the way, in the midst of the college basketball season, great way to keep on top of every storyline.
I follow all of the very best in the business. Just like Bruce Pearl, back in studio tonight. A must follow.
Adnan Burke and Bruce Pearl, will be hearing from them at halftime. Got a good one here in Ann Arbor. Purdue, feisty Purdue team, up by 5. Spike Albrecht has come in for the Wolverines. LeVert now, and his run goes.
And that's what he can bring to the table. That's what he brought early when they decided to burn his red shirt, is the athleticism, the length to turn the corner and get to those mid-range shots.
Nice cut that time. And this is going the other way. But it was a good look. Travis Carroll came in too strong at the ends. As you see the look on the face of Matt Painter.
Remember, you make this back cut, your feet have got to be outside that circle, and a lot of times people think, well, was his feet completely set? It doesn't matter. That's not part of the rule. You've got to be set, but your feet can still be off the ground a little bit there.
Hardaway Jr. LeVert. And he traveled.
Traveling, ball to Purdue. Back in the game.
Painter, 42-year-old in his 8th year, talked a lot to us about Trey Burke and how you match up with him, saying we have to take good shots. We have to make good decisions on the offensive end because we cannot allow Burke to get us in transition.
Well, so often the questions come is how do you slow down Michigan? Well, you slow down Michigan by playing great offense. You make them work. You maybe tire out their legs, make them run through some screens. You don't turn the ball over. You take high percentage looks. And all of those things Purdue has done in the early stages of this game.
4 turnovers for Michigan. Hammonds was off the mark. And steps there near the baseline by Morgan.
Well, and turnovers like that from Michigan, 5 already in this game. And you think about it and you look, he's still halfway through the first half. They only average a little bit over 9 turnovers per contest. So well ahead of their season average, and that gives multiple possessions to Purdue where you're walking away with an empty possession.
Hardaway takes a seat. Johnson finds Hale at the foul line, and he's able to hit it. So back to a 5-point margin.
But be active, set screens, get rebounds. But does a very good job of having his hands ready. Great space, found the lane and finished. A durable, reliable player for the Wolverines on this team filled with backcourt stars. Ronnie Johnson now looking in the middle to the 7-footer, and he takes steps. So a series of turnovers as A.J. Hammonds travels there. ESPN's Journey to the Tourney. Season-long spotlight on the games that will impact the tournament. Tonight at 9 on ESPN2, Shabazz Mohabit, UCLA, Mark Lyons, and the 6th-ranked Arizona Wildcats. Pash and Walton, an A+ listen tonight, Mr. Farnham. Well, and you think about these two teams and where they're at. You know, it wasn't that long ago UCLA had the nice win streak going. Everything was about confidence. Then they lose at home last week against Oregon, where I thought they kind of deviated from the program plan in the second half. Too much one-on-one action. And you can't do that when you go in the McHale Center, especially against a Sean Miller coach team. I'll see the Wildcats on Saturday against the Trojans.
See what they offer up tonight. That's on ESPN2. Trey Burke, offensive.
And this is one of those calls.
He pushed off here, Sean.
Well, this is one of those calls where fans have watched Trey Burke.
That right forearm get up.
Will often look and say, well, didn't he push off? Well, look at the way he gets his elbow out. And he's able to create space from it. It's kind of one of those pro-type moves that Trey Burke has added to his game, and he's gotten away with it more often than he hasn't. He'll get it back, though.
Here he goes. Couldn't finish.
Anticipating the foul versus looking for the finish.
Tyrone Johnson can, though.
Basket by Tyrone Johnson.
3 turnovers in the last 4 trips for Michigan, 23-18. As Johnson has 8 points, older brother among the Johnsons on Purdue. Stauskas, right hand scoop, and it drops. They're getting more and more confident with running off that 3-point line, because defensive teams aren't helping off of him as much as they were earlier in the season, because now he's a known on the scouting report. So you got to find other ways to score and help your team. And Stauskas has done a nice job putting it on the ground, getting to the rim. Tyrone for 3. Off the rim and into the hands of GR3. Glenn Robinson the 3rd. Here's Burke. And a strong move by Burke right through the lane.
See, the difference is that time he was looking for the finish versus the last layup attempt by Burke where he was anticipating a foul.
Michigan closes to 1. 7 points for Trey Burke. Johnson will run won't go. McGarry with the rebound. Up ahead to Burke. Here he goes again. This time he finds Glenn Robinson III. And Michigan takes the lead.
One adjustment made by Robinson.
A 6-0 run and a timeout by Purdue.
Well, we talked on Trey Burke. After missing a layup in the open floor, he's not going to make the same mistake twice. A little bit slow in the defensive rotation, picking up and stopping the ball. Then this time, out ahead, defense reacts, steps two, it vacates the back spot. Glenn Robinson III with the nifty finish. And Michigan's energy level much improved, and the quality of shot in which we've seen from Purdue has declined. That's a big part of this 6-0 run.
There's a lot of Purdue fans out there wondering, hey, why isn't Glenn Robinson III wearing our uniform? Dad was one of us.
You know, it's one of those situations in recruiting where a player matures at a later stage, and Michigan got in early, and at the time, you think about it, there was a point in time for Glenn Robinson III. He was the 118th best recruit in the country. By the time it was all said and done, he was the 11th best recruit in the country.
Late bloomer. Purdue had set aside scholarships, committed them, and then all of a sudden, little dog develops. Bird gives way, and underneath, able to finish with Travis Carroll.
How many times? Already twice we've seen Bird create opportunities to score for his teammates. So not only has he stretched you from the outside with 8 points, 2 to 5 from behind the arc, he's facilitated as well.
Purdue off the timeout, gets back up by 1. Stauskas, and the tip-in won't go. Robinson, and he draws the foul.
Purdue has come on the road, and they have played a concentrated and disciplined effort so far. A nice dump down underneath, and the Boilermakers are up by 1. Well, Coach Pro is tweeting tests about the game on ESPN 2, then he's got to be talking about Marshall Henderson. If you haven't watched him play, one of the dynamic shooters from the outside, but as Coach Kennedy told me in Hawaii, if he had hair, he would have lost it all by now because of the shot selection of Marshall Henderson. He can shoot you in and shoot you out. It's going to be great.
He's 0 for 3 right now as Tennessee's up 15-10 on number 23, Ole Miss. We got a good one here, though, with number 2 thinking that they can be number 1. Michigan getting a tough test from a fiery Purdue team early on. Robinson is at the line.
We mentioned Robinson not following in his father's footsteps, instead going to a rival school. Here's a couple others notable ones. Bill Walton, his son Luke, goes to Arizona. Del Curry from Virginia Tech. And of course, Seth Curry goes to Duke. And Bill Walton later on tonight calling that game, UCLA versus Arizona. I wonder if Luke's made any phone calls to his dad in preparation for that one.
Dave Pash and Bill Walton will have the call. ESPN 2, UCLA against number 6, Arizona. This time he banks it in. DJ Bird. Can you believe the start to his night? DJ Bird, his 3rd tray. He has 11.
60% shooting from beyond the arc right now on the road for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Can't get the bounce. It'll stay with Michigan.
Bird doing such a great job. Coming off the weak side screen, curls, shoots it off the backboard, and yeah, he didn't call that, but it still counts for 3.
Last name's Bird, comes from a small town in Indiana. Things like that happen for guys like that.
Well, on the road, he has been the most consistent of the Boilermakers, averaging just close to 13 points per game. Had a season-high 22 at Clemson.
Game high 11 here. Under 5 here in the first half. Purdue up 2 on number 2 Michigan. Looking to try to get through this week in the Big Ten and grab that number 1 spot.
Duke was blown away last night. The test that have not been #1 in the country since 1992.
McGarry. 2 times he was denied, and it ends up in the hands of DJ Bird. Ronnie Johnson now. And this is going the other way as Johnson came charging in.
When Johnson penetrates like that, you've got to be careful. You got to jump stop, realize and recognize where the defense is.
First on Ronnie Johnson's brother Taronis too.
A lot of times you see guards, and especially young guards, over dribble penetrate on passing situations. When you leave your feet, you got to go straight up, straight down. Can't be moving forward.
Michigan has missed their last 5 shots. Hardaway Jr. And that was deflected away. 13 remain on the shot clock. Trailing by 2 here with 4 minutes in the first to play. Matched up with Ronnie Johnson. Crossover, 3-point attempt. And the rebound by DJ Bird.
And those are shots that on the season have fallen for Trey Burke. They're not falling right now.
This is Anthony Johnson. Bird gets it inside. Bounce pass, nice cut. But Ronnie Johnson unable to complete it. Couldn't get the putback either. And a fight for the ball. And it'll stay with Purdue. 3:26 to go in the first half. And Michigan still trailing here in Ann Arbor. Thank you, Adnan. Here in Ann Arbor, #2 Michigan, trailing by 2 at home against a Purdue team who got them last year on this court. And Bird got them off to a good start. 3 3-pointers for DJ Bird. Purdue is 6 of 10 on threes. Anthony Johnson, rebound Davis. Kicks out to Bird. He drives. Finds Ronnie Johnson. And that is rare. Ronnie Johnson. Not known for his outside shot, but everything is falling for Purdue.
Part of that's being kind. He shoots 12% from behind the arc.
7 of 11 on 3-pointers for the Boilermakers. 31-26. Michigan started the game 10 of 16 field goals, 0 for 7 since, and that's true.
Well, just look, though, you just feel the looks are higher percentage shots right now for Purdue. They're moving better. They're creating better looks for their teammates.
Turnover as Burke will push it. Tried to find a streaking Robinson.
That was deflected out of bounds. A couple of times now we've seen passes get deflected out of bounds when Trey Burke is working in the open floor.
Into the game now for Purdue.
And rarely do we see that.
Back for the game for your Wolverines, #2.
7-foot freshman A.J. Hammonds into the game for Purdue.
You've got to be more careful if you're the lead guard like Trey Burke is. If you have the play, do you force it over the top or do you take the simple pass on the strong side? And I think that's what Coach Peeler is talking about.
How about that? Little dog is barking loud against Dad's alma mater. Glenn Robinson III. Hashtag SC Top 10. Lock it up, Farnham.
I'm going there with you in just 2 seconds. I just want to see a replay of it. Megatron in the truck is going to bring it.
Johnson answered at the other end. 3-point lead for Purdue. And what a play by Glenn Robinson III. Hardaway. And Morgan tips it in. And Michigan closes to 1 again.
Is it wrong? I just want a stoppage in play so we can go back and watch the dunk by Glenn Robinson once again.
Just over a minute to play here. Been a very entertaining first half.
Do you feel, though, how just one simple play like that we saw from Glenn Robinson III, and all of a sudden the students are jumping up and down. There's a little bit of buzz in the building, something we haven't had a lot of here in the first half.
Ronnie Johnson working against Hardaway. Shot clock down to 6. Anthony Johnson for 3.
Well, you live by the 3, you can also fall short because of the 3. Gotta be careful.
Four-second differential, game clock and shot clock. Spike Auburn gonna use a timeout here. Moving just over 17 seconds. Of course, you can nominate the best plays of the day from across the world of sports using hashtag #SCTop10 and mark this one on the list.
His dad was the big dog. His son said, get in the rim. Drive baseline, the elevation, and the finish. And that just don't just hashtag it. Give me a bark with it as well.
Robinson with 6 of their last 8 points. Tomorrow night, San Antonio's looking to stay atop the Southwest Division, taking on Dirk and the Mavericks. Coverage tips off with NBA Countdown at 7:30. Spurs Mavericks at 8 on ESPN. Spurs on a 6-game win streak.
I didn't know there were other teams in the league.
You thought it was just the Lakers and the soap opera in LA?
I thought it was about the Lakers. I thought it was about their offense. And Gasol can't play with Howard. And Kobe's legs are tired. And closed-door meetings. And Kobe's telling Dwight, you don't like playing with me. That's what I thought it was all about in the NBA. I didn't realize other things were going on.
Trey Burke looking on. 17 seconds in the half. Hardaway off the ball screen. 3 on the shot clock. Hardaway Jr. And they get a whistle there with 2.1.
Well, and the question becomes, are they going to give him it in the act of shooting? Coach Painter saying, hey, he caught that ball and was trying to throw it towards the rim. Bird standing at the free throw line. He had to run all the way back.
.1 remains. Anthony Johnson.
What a half, Tess.
First time this season, Michigan trails at home at the half.
You know, they came in here, they were focused on having high percentage shots offensively. Most of those came from behind the arc. 54% from beyond 3.
Think the boys are going to be replaying a little GR3? 33-32 Purdue. Let's send it to the studio with our UPS halftime report. Gentlemen. Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price. And what do we have here? 33-32. Purdue over number 2 Michigan. 53% on their 3-point shooting were the Boilermakers in the first half.
Yeah, and it wasn't just one guy. DJ Bird got it going from the outside, but he also facilitated and opened up opportunities for his teammates. Let's go inside the play and see how you can draw and kick. It's not a driving kick. He's going to utilize the shot fake. He's going to get to his spot at the elbow. It forces Trey Burke to step 2. His defensive player trails, and then it's Ronnie Johnson who's going to have a wide open side of the court. It's going to be a long run out for Trey Burke and an easy 3-point shot. 3 assists in the first half to go along with 11 points for DJ Bird. And really, it's the assist to field goals for me. You see the 10 assists on 13 made field goals. A nice job by Purdue, sharing the ball and being unselfish.
DJ Bird, big story in that first half, 3 of 7 from 3. Glenn Robinson, the third, who had that highlight with the dunk baseline, scored 6 points in that surge in the final 6 minutes. Trey Burke with 7, was 0 for 3 from 3. Stauskas, that wouldn't drop. Morgan fighting for it, and he draws the foul.
I think the key for me here, though, in the second half, Tess, is you shoot 54% from the outside. You feel really good about where you're at right now for Purdue. But don't believe that you're going to come back out here in the second half and knock down that same high percentage. Where have you been successful in Big Ten play? It's points in the paint. They hardly have any here tonight, and they have yet to attempt a free throw. Those two things have to change. They got to score more in the paint here in the second half and get to the free throw line if they're going to pull off this upset.
No doubt, good point. DJ Bird, that whistle his first. Hardaway, strong move. And Michigan takes the lead to open up the second half.
Good job attacking the rim, finding the lane, getting to the lane, and finishing.
Davis on the feed from Ronnie Johnson.
And that all was predicated upon the breakdown defensively on the outside. When you allow a guard to drive into the paint like that, people have to step. And Davis was wide open underneath, and that goes back to what we were talking to. Coming out, scoring in the paint, a good possession for Purdue.
They've seen more and more of that from Ronnie Johnson in recent weeks. That's why they feel it's no coincidence that Purdue's been on the uptick. Couldn't get it to drop in off the pass from Hardaway Jr. Here's Ronnie again. Gives to his brother Tyrone. Jay Bird was willing to pull the trigger from just about anywhere over half court in that first half. Ronnie Johnson coming around Morgan, his brother Tyrone. And the rebound, Jordan Morgan. Gets it over to Robinson, the third. Morgan now turns around with the right hand. Rebound, Davis. Ronnie Johnson against Burke, and Burke got a piece of that ball, but also a whistle comes in. And for Burke, that's his second.
Ronnie Johnson coming out of the second half, much more aggressive. Going through a lot of ball there, partner. A lot of ball there, but these will be the first 2 free throws of the game for the Boilermakers.
They relied on the outside shooting in the first half, but showing a little more aggression here, getting to the hole to start the second half.
And Ronnie Johnson's game as a freshman, it's got to mature. He's got to get more confident in his offensive look. 12% from behind the arc, 35% from the field, and only 61% at the free throw line. He gets 1 of 2.
Leads the team in free throw attempts and free throws made. Gets 1 of 2 there. So 2-point game. Purdue on top, 36-34.
If you're going to lead your team in both those categories, you need to be at plus 75%.
Average is better than that. Burke weaving his way through the lane and leaves the bounce pass. They kick it out for Hardaway Jr., who hits the 3. And Michigan goes on top by 1 again.
And that's just great unselfishness. Team basketball. Good pass by Burke. Good pass by Robinson. Wide open three-point shot.
11 points for Tim Hardaway Jr., the son of a 5-time NBA All-Star. Tyrone Johnson now. Here's Ronnie for 3 again. Made 1 in the first half. That's not his game. Hardaway. And it doesn't go over well in these parts.
Michigan foul.
Michigan moving the ball. Creating opportunities to get high percentage, uncontested shots. Watch the way Burke breaks down the defense, gets into the lane. Robinson goes baseline, kicks out, long run out underneath. Too long of a run out. An easy 3-point shot, but that's just great ball movement and a good job by Hardaway to have his feet set, hands ready on the catch.
Offensive on Hardaway. Purdue trailing by 1 here. Won 3 straight. Michigan 26-1 here at home over the last 2 seasons, and it was Purdue who scored that lone victory, trying to pull off an upset. here tonight in Ann Arbor.
Hammond's body language has got to get better for Purdue right now. I mean, you're 7 feet tall, you take the fadeaway turnaround jump shot, and it doesn't look like he's got that passion that you need to win on the road right now.
Only 2 points for their 7-foot freshman.
Turn ignition key, and let's get this thing fired up.
Offense runs through him, but not so far tonight. It's been the 3 ball.
Hey, post up Glenn Robinson the third. You've got a sizable advantage.
Here's Hale now, 14-footer. And Donnie Hale makes it 38-37, Purdue.
Good job by Hale. We've seen him a couple of times now work into that free throw line area and find success.
Second field goal of the night. Donnie Hale, a 21-year-old freshman with a year of postgraduate work. Screen for Burke. Shot clock down to 5. Burke. And there's the whistle. So Trey Burke trying to get Michigan the lead again. 38-37 it stands for now. Joe Tessitore and Sean Farnham with you on the Thursday Night Showcase presented by T. Rowe Price. Best backcourt you were asking? Pint-size explosions. Little UConn love coming in, Sean.
Well, hashtag it best backcourt. We're getting close to closing this thing out. Go on to Twitter right now. Let us know who you think has the best backcourt in the country. I was just reading the early poll results are in, and it seems like Michigan is in the lead right now.
Understandably so with what we've seen out of Burke and Hardaway Jr. this year. Burke was 7 tonight. Hardaway Jr. with 11 points. A.J. Hammonds picked up his second moments ago, and that sends Trey Burke to the line, a Wooden Award candidate for National Player of the Year. Has the game with his first.
Joe Smooth, you think about what he means for this team. How about this? The last 8 games, he's played 272 minutes. He has 60 assists and only 11 turnovers.
13th lead change we've had tonight. Michigan 39-38. Number 2 in the country as it stands now, but we all know what happened to Duke last night. And they're targeting the top spot. They can get through always tough challenges of the Big Ten this week. That time it's Jerome Johnson. Johnson, remember, had his big game last year here in Ann Arbor to lead the way for the Purdue victory.
Every time Michigan takes the lead, Purdue responds immediately. They have not allowed the Wolverines to go off on one of their patent runs.
That was Bird who came in against Staskis, second on DJ Bird.
You talked about the question of who is number 1 in the country, and right now I think it is Michigan. I thought it was Michigan before Duke lost at Miami. But Kansas certainly is going to stand up and say, hey, we need to be heard from. Syracuse with only 1 loss. That coming to Temple, winning on the road against Louisville.
Glenn Robinson the third. And he's good from the corner for a 42-40 Wolverines lead.
So let's see if that can energize and create a sustained run for the Wolverines on their home floor.
Back and forth these 2 teams go. Bird well off the mark, but a long rebound goes into the hands of Jacob Lawson, and they will reset.
That shot was so off the mark, it allowed Purdue to get the offense out of it.
Lawson looking for help from Ronnie Johnson. Here's his brother Tyrone. And he's short on that. So they haven't hit a 3-pointer in this half after all that success in the first half. Purdue 0 for 4 on threes here in the second half.
Well, they haven't hit a 3, but certainly Michigan has. And we saw earlier it was Robinson that kicked it out for Hardaway. This time Purdue's baseline defense completely collapses on the dribble penetration. And he knocks it down from the outside. A good shot by Glenn Robinson III.
Whistle was the second on Ronnie Johnson. As Westbrook looks to inbound Stauskas, and he tips it back in.
Basketball, Nick Stauskas.
Great job executed on the out of bounds underneath. Patience to allow that play to develop.
Stauskas makes it a 4-point Michigan lead. And Donnie Hale tosses it away as he was looking for Anthony Johnson. A 10-4 Michigan run.
You're starting to feel it. The electricity in the building is building up. Purdue, that relied so heavily on the three-point shot, has not got it going from the outside. They're struggling to get into the teeth of the defense against the Wolverines, and Michigan is elevating their play.
Stauskas is going to use a timeout here. So a 10-4 run for the Wolverines. Get on Twitter. It's your last chance to vote. We asked you, best backcourt in the nation? Is it the Wolverines? Check it out. As if I need to remind Sean Farm of this, that ESPN College Basketball is available live anytime, anywhere, your computer, your tablet, your smartphone. Watch ESPN.com. You got the Watch ESPN app. You're going to be burning that thing up at the Detroit airport tomorrow morning, aren't you?
No question. I'll be watching a couple of the games that I'm missing tonight. And I do my best to try to watch as many games as possible. That BYU-Gonzaga game later on tonight on ESPN2 is going to be a great one in the WCC. I hope to get back to the hotel in time to watch the UCLA-Arizona game coming up on ESPN2.
Mark Lyons in action. Number 6 Arizona, UCLA. Dave Pasch, Walton will have the call on ESPN2.
Sean Miller, one of the premier coaches in all of college basketball. He has done a superb job rebuilding and re-energizing the Wildcats program.
How about a little stop and start from Trey Burke?
That is what he does as well as anybody in the country. He can stop on a dime, elevate up, and go.
11 points now for the Wooden Award candidate.
Now, usually, we the other night had Otto Porter Jr. fall into us.
Yes, we did.
Mitch McGarry almost fell into us.
That's that big difference between Porter Jr. and Georgetown and McGarry. No, I'm out of the way if McGarry's coming at us.
I grabbed my cell phone and just removed myself from the table.
It's not Velcro to your side. Crowd wanted steps. Johnson denied. And they say baseline there with Mitch McGarry. So it points Purdue's way. 6-point lead for number 2 Michigan.
And the question right now is, should the shot clock be reset? Did he have possession of the basketball with 2 hands, secure possession before he stepped out of bounds, or did he dribble it out of bounds on the turn?
Ted Valentine, Golborowski, Brian Dorsey are game officials tonight.
And I believe they're going to take a look at this. And it's an excellent job by this officiating crew staying on of it. Coach Beeline immediately called it into question. And as the shot gets blocked, watch the dribble out of bounds. Yeah, there is no possession of the basketball there. His hand touches it as it's going out of bounds. I mean, barely got a hand on it as it goes out of bounds. So they'll look to see.
Does that qualify as possession? Exactly.
Right.
So we're looking at that as you saw the call by Valentine on the baseline.
And they're going to bring it down to 8 seconds on the shot clock. So a good job by Coach Beeline and his staff to get up immediately and question it. Now Coach Painter has got to change their out-of-bounds call, or at least make them aware of the fact that, hey, you don't have a lot of time here. Got to get it and go.
Ronnie Johnson baseline. And offensive.
Second time we have seen Ronnie Johnson leave his feet and go into the defensive player. It is his second charge out of his 3 personal fouls. And that'll change over the course of his career. And that's going to come with growth and understanding.
3 fouls on Ronnie Johnson, freshman point guard for Purdue. Couple turnovers, last 2 trips for Purdue. Michigan has extended to a 6-point lead in a game that was back and forth throughout. Stauskas, bounce pass, good work to McGarry, who couldn't finish but gets the whistle.
Stauskas, an excellent job curling off the screen on the baseline. A good split pass. Big man's got to finish that one.
Second on Anthony Johnson. And that'll send McGarry to the line.
He is a power player, clearly with his size. At the Elite 24, one of those premier high school All-American games that ESPN actually covers on ESPNU. He broke the backboard when he was there.
6'10", 250. Just a tough, blue-collar, high-energy player.
And next to his words, the one thing that they want, and a lot of times in the locker room they have words next to the players here at Michigan. The word next to McGarry is enthusiasm. You got to play with enthusiasm when you have the opportunity to be on the floor. Make a difference, make an impact.
Almost a strip there by Burke. This time it's McGarry, the big guy, coming up with it. How's that for enthusiastic defense?
And the fans love it as he's punching up the crowd. Look at Mitch McGarry.
Third on Anthony Johnson.
Well, for a man his size, he plays the passing lanes pretty well. And it starts, though, with Trey Burke.
The Maze Rage student section enjoying the efforts of Mitch McGarry.
Well, you know, when your point guard and your All-American candidate and Wooden Award favorite is diving on the floor, sacrificing his body, getting his hands on it, Mitch McGarry immediately steps up and plays the passing lane and able to draw the foul.
Purdue 7 fouls. And 8 minutes here. Michigan in the bonus.
Well, and this one, Tess, tell me if it just doesn't feel like it right now. Purdue had gotten off to such a great start from the outside. Their offense was essentially created, but the officials just came over. Team control foul, no free throws being awarded here, although you see Michigan in the bonus at the bottom portion of your screen. But this game's starting to slip away a little bit for the Boilermakers. And they've got to settle this thing down, get back to playing solid, composed offensive possessions, because Michigan's getting too many looks here in the second half.
Wolverines with momentum. See if they can add to it here. Trey Burke. Glenn Robinson the third for 3.
That's a layup. Man, that's just a layup. Trey Burke breaks down the defense, wide open, uncontested look from the outside. Glenn Robinson's hitting that one.
10-0 run by the Wolverines.
Purdue's got to figure it out. You've got to keep Trey Burke out of the center of the floor, because when he gets into it, bad things happen for you. There's a 3-ball. Wolverines up by 9.
Nice to hear Burke psyched up for a little winter X. You know how the Canadians love the snow.
Yes, they love the snow, and evidently our viewing audience loves Tim Hardaway and Trey Burke. Look at these Twitter poll results for hashtag best backcourt. Hardaway and Burke, 72% running away with this thing, and it's tough to argue, especially when you look at the numbers tonight. Hardaway 11 points in tonight's game, 4 of 8 shooting. Trey Burke 4 of 8. He's got 11 points, but 6 assists to go with that, and only 1 turnover.
Just who he is with that ratio.
But it doesn't help Louisville's backcourt, by the way, when you lose at Villanova.
That's right.
A nice win, though, for Jay Wright's team.
Stain on the resume.
Much needed win for Jay Wright.
Purdue's been struggling last 3.5 minutes. 0 for 4 on their field goals in the last 3.5 minutes. 3 turnovers, and they've been outscored 10-0.
0 for 4 from behind the arc here in the first half after hitting 7 3-pointers in the first half.
Tim Hardaway Jr. gives way. Levert. Get something going here. That helps with Jerome Johnson. Johnson now 12 points.
open floor situation, look to attack, look to score. Nice job by Johnson.
The screen, Burke for three. There's Johnson with the rebounds. And Burke, those quick hands. And the easy finish. That is a rare 13-point night he's working on, framed against those 6 assists.
A lazy pass from Johnson, though, and he fed it to Burke, who's got quick, active hands at the defensive end.
Ronnie Johnson. Purdue just can't hit on the long ball here in the second half. They're 0 for 6 after shooting 53%, hitting 7 in the first half.
And their shooting percentage is plummeted. 43% in the first half. Here in the second half, hovering just above 30% shooting.
Michigan up to number 2, program's highest mark since the 92-93 season, and they are knocking on the door at number 1 if they can get through this week.
Well, that's a good defense. Just a lazy pass up over the top. And then Trey Burke, the patience, the poise to come back and finish.
He scored in double figures in all of Michigan's games this season, the only player to do so on the Wolverines roster. Good look from Robinson, but Albrecht doesn't finish. Instead, inside is John Horford. Now his little brother, the NBAer, former Florida Gator Al Horford. Remember all the injuries John's been dealing with recently.
He's got that knee brace on his left knee, dislocated his knee earlier this year against West Virginia. Jerome Johnson now. Tried to make the most of it. The 7-footer, the freshman A.J. Hammonds loses the ball. He hasn't been a factor at all tonight. Offensive foul that time as Albrecht came charging in. I want A.J. Hammonds to do more than chew his bubble gum.
Michigan foul.
Purdue does too.
I want to see him get the ball underneath and make an aggressive move. And he goes right back over, talking to his coach, and he's got to finish that shot underneath. And this is a young man who has been playing some outstanding basketball coming into this game.
Matt Painter, head coach of Purdue, was very honest with us in just discussing his level of development and maturity.
And it needs to improve. In the last 3 games, he had 14 block shots. On the road this year, he's averaging over 12 points and 6 rebounds per game. Those numbers, they're not even close to that. He has 2 points and 2 rebounds. He's got to give you more.
And you look up, and all of a sudden, Purdue trails by 11. Johnson with the take to the right side, and that won't go. So here comes Burke and the Wolverines yet again.
But this would be a learning experience for the young freshman from Purdue.
Stauskas. Nothing's going for the Boilermakers. Only 9 points in this half. Trey Burke baseline, lost control of the ball, tipped out. So we'll stay with Michigan.
Out of bounds ball to Michigan. Back in the game now for Purdue is number 1, Anthony Johnson.
Robinson a third. Got this place rocking when it was a back-and-forth game in the first half with his baseline move and thunderous dunk. You go on Twitter, you'll see his name blowing up everywhere. Trey Burke, 18-footer. Rimmed out, a rebound by Rayfield Davis.
11-point game, 7:30 plus left. There's plenty of time for Purdue.
Here's Davis. He was tied up. There's the whistle. Purdue trailing by 11. Let's check in with Adnan in the studio. Got a good Saturday of college basketball coming up on ESPN at noon. Big East battle. Number 5 Louisville taking on Georgetown and Otto Porter Jr. Then at 7, North Carolina, NC State. Led by C.J. Leslie will be at 7 o'clock Eastern. Let's look at the state of North Carolina's state of success, brought to you by State Farm. Of course, you can tune in to ESPN Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, and watch Game Day, covered by State Farm from there.
North Carolina's got to get out in transition. They got to put it in a wide open court situation. That's where they thrive. But on the road, you got to realize if you're going to play fast, you also have to get back in defensive transition, because the Wolfpack extremely good in the open floor. C.J. Leslie explosive at the rim.
What a difference a half makes for DJ Bird. Had those 3-pointers in the first half. Scoreless here in the second half. And Michigan up 53-42.
And being outscored 21-9 here in the second half. I think it's not just DJ Bird. I mean, we talked about DJ Bird. I talked about A.J. Hammonds. It's pretty much the entire Purdue roster here in the second half, struggling to score.
Mayfield Davis makes it a 10-point game.
Matt Painter, though, has done such a sensational job with the Boilermakers this season. Now, you think about what he's done on his career. They've got 6 straight 20-win seasons, the longest in school history. That ties the longest in school history. They've got 10 wins already this season with one of the youngest teams in the entire Big Ten.
Here's Burke, the runner, and that bounces off the side rim. And we talked about the 6 straight NCAA tournament appearances. Wins at least a game each time.
And that's as impressive as just getting to the tournament, is the fact that he never loses in the first round. At least he hasn't at Purdue. Well, there's something going towards the rim, in rhythm, creating a lane, a dribble handoff. Occupy the defense on the help side, and good job by the Boilermakers.
Bird getting scrappy. And that effort forces the turnover as Stauskas was trying to chase it towards the backcourt.
One official was indicating that the ball was tipped, and the other one said no, and that ball was definitely poked out from behind. In fact, the near official. But the thing is, watch the official on the near side of the screen. He sees the ball get tipped. He shows that it's getting tipped. If we can go back to that wide angle, if we can show the wide angle again, you're going to see the official that said it wasn't tipped. He says it's tipped. Look at his call report. He's saying the ball has been tipped. That's the indication that the official gave. And then as the ball gets picked up, he calls it over and back.
Exactly. So a timeout called by Michigan. John Beilein on a night where he has seen his guards take over here in the second half, led by Trey Burke and his assists.
Well, this is what you call a hockey assist. You know, Detroit, the Red Wings, hockey's back in the NHL. So a hockey assist on the first one. Here's a true assist at the college game. The dribble drive, baseline, defense steps 2, kick to the corner. Here you see you don't have to get all the way to the baseline to make the defense step to you. Same result, wide open, uncontested three.
Burke is on track to be the first Big Ten player since Magic Johnson back in the 78-79 season averaged 17 points per game and at least 7 assists per game. Think about that. All the great ones who have come through. Gonna go all the way back to Magic Johnson if he can stay the course and keep that statistical pace.
What a great guard conference this year in the Big Ten. 4 players on the Cousy Award finalist list.
A.J. Hammonds continues to struggle, but the putback and the finish that time by Rayfield Davis.
And Davis, an interesting player. And he's emerged as of late last 3 games, averaging better than 10 points per game. I mean, this shot wasn't even close. But Davis able to grab it and finish in a little emotion. I like a little emotion. I want to see more emotion out of Purdue. But Davis, in their summer trip, actually led the team in scoring. It was his defense that was letting him down. And he dedicated himself to the defensive end of the floor. It's what's got him in the starting lineup. And now his offensive game is slowly starting to come back.
Makes it a 5-point game. 3 fouls now on Trey Burke. A 6-0 run for Purdue. Can they get a defensive stop now against the Wolverines?
Davis is on Robinson.
Gary's setting things up for Burke. Ball screen, here's Burke. Kicks it out, Stauskas. And how about that? Good way to answer from the guy from Mississauga, Ontario.
Read option. First look, McGarry going right down the middle. Second look to the outside. Find the man on the outside, get the open three.
Johnson for three. And Robinson in the right place for that rebound. As Michigan is back up by 8. 4 Wolverines now in double figures. Stauskas has 10 coming off that three-pointer last possession. Under 5 minutes here. And Burke sets it up for Mitch McGarry.
I mean, he stops on a dime and then goes. And freezes the defense, able to create for his teammates.
8 assists for Trey Burke. He's delivering every which way. Back to a 10-point lead for Michigan.
Well, you know, you set up your teammates, you have a point guard like Trey Burke. 72% of you said best backcourt. A lot of it is because of his ability to set up. Stauskas from the outside, the treat from north of the border. All 3-pointers. And here's my all-Canadian team. Kevin Pangos from Gonzaga. Mike Kabongo, we'll see you soon, Mike, I promise. He's going to come back for Texas. Anthony Bennett, the talented freshman, could be the best freshman in all of college basketball. Kelly Olynyk playing outstanding basketball for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. You'll see them later on tonight on ESPN 2. And then Nick Stauskas belongs on that list. And Canada has become a hotbed of talent. And it really predicates and goes back to Steve Nash. You know, people, talk about the Tiger Woods impact in golf. People talk about Serena and Venus Williams' impact on tennis. We saw that this week with Sloane Stephens upsetting Serena Williams at the Aussie Open. Steve Nash and his impact on basketball north of the border here. There is now a young group of kids that have grown up fans of basketball versus hockey, and we've seen that riches come into the college game here in the United States. Stauskas, one of them.
You just made Dan Shulman, John Saunders, and Adnan Burke so happy.
Well, I didn't sing on Canada.
You see the Maize Rage student section. With that maize and blue maple leaf flag for Stauskas. Bird kicks it out. Davis. And Stauskas with the rebounds. Remember the Duke loss last night to Miami. Michigan's second time this year that they've been in position to ascend to #1 in the polls. Last time they got off to a slow start against Ohio State and lost in that Sunday game.
Well, of course, if they're able to win tonight, moving ahead, they've got at Illinois on Saturday. Excuse me, Sunday. So a tough road test. The Illini got themselves in a better rhythm after beating Nebraska.
Everywhere you turn in this conference, Sean, it's like that. Deepest conference in basketball, top to bottom.
Out of bounds, ball for Purdue, and there's timeout on the court.
You were showing that Canadian flag. How about a view of Michigan from Canada?
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence.
Bo Schembechler used to say, the team, the team, the team. His famous speech as we come out into the court here at the Chrysler Center. Last time Michigan was up into that rarefied air, well, you be the judge. Been a while. 1992 for #1 on that list. #2 as it stands now. Duke lost. Here they go.
I thought they were the best team in the country weeks ago. And when I saw them at Northwestern, and to get to see the way Burke, Hardaway, Robinson, Stauskas, and the importance of Morgan and his role on this team, how they work together just makes a big difference.
Purdue's now 0 for 9 on threes in this second half. Meanwhile, hello, Mitch McGary.
Well, he just plays hard.
Think he's becoming a fan favorite?
He runs the floor. He's active. He's strong.
Finally, Johnson gets something to go.
Yeah, you look at the numbers here in the second half. 7 of 21 shooting in the second half for Purdue. 0 of 8 from behind the arc. A difficult hole that they are trying to dig themselves out of.
There's the big man again. Left-handed.
Basket by Mitch McGary.
6 points for McGary. Stay low to the ground, and Burke does that.
Harlan well trouble. And Trey Burke as well, keeping his handles alive.
See if they look to McGary here. He scored their last 6.
Why not? He's got his hands on his hips, though, so you wonder, is he tired? Is he fatigued?
Purdue blows the whistle for DJ Bird this third. Here's 6'10", 250 pounds of Mitch McGary pushing it hard.
Stepping the line is
gonna say that's
one
of his fans?
11, Nick
I think that's safe to say, right?
An extreme fan.
Hey, he's just a freshman. He's got time.
Michigan in the
Back in the
bonus.
game now for Purdue's
Stauskas
number 1, Anthony
gets the
Johnson.
first.
I want to know, was it the person holding the sign or the person next to the sign?
I didn't see an arrow. Did you see an arrow?
No, but if it's the person holding the sign, you got to hold it down so at least he can see you.
You can analyze anything, can't you?
I'm just saying.
14-point lead
Proper signage and how to work it.
for Michigan. Davis, and he draws the foul.
I like his activity, his spacing, his movement. You know, he came up short on the air ball from the outside, but a couple times he has worked hard in the post to try to create a space and give himself an opportunity to get to the either the free throw line or complete the play.
Third foul on Tim Hardaway Jr.
You know, just 6'5" for Davis. He's got some good toughness. He's scrappy out on the floor.
Been active tonight.
He had 21 earlier this year against Notre Dame.
Purdue is number 15, Donnie Hale.
Double digits tonight for Rayfield Davis. Robinson the third with the rebound off that miss.
And Davis with 8 rebounds, by the way. That also bests his season high. He had 7 at Nebraska.
So earlier tonight, we talked about a college basketball season in which nobody can stay on top of the mountain. Number ones have been changing week by week. You said all along you have felt that this Michigan team is probably the most talented, the most dynamic. Now they'll have their chance to ascend to the top. Where are they at this stage of the season, and where do you look for them to be come the beginning of March?
Well, I think the plus side is you see a guy like McGary and you think, okay, he's getting better.
Exactly,
And that helps him. You got Morgan, Crawford's getting healthier, and yeah, you're going to probably be number 1 if you can take care of business Sunday. You got to win on Sunday on the road. And going on the road in conference play, as we have seen, has been no easy task for anyone. But McGary, Crawford, Morgan, the interior of this team is getting healthier with Horford, better with McGary, and Morgan's been consistent. You couple that with the backcourt and the guys that can stretch you from the outside, boy, it is really difficult to match up.
Michigan State, Indiana, Michigan, the one-loss teams in the Big Ten. Ohio State does have the win over Michigan.
And is this a surprise? I mean, you look at these standings and, oh, by the way, Tom Izzo's team is right there at the top. A year in and year out, we saw them at Iowa, and they didn't necessarily look like a team that could win this championship.
But in a good reflection of what the Big Ten is, how about a team like this right here, Sean?
Northwestern. A surprise team, starting to play better. They're healthier. Reggie Hearn
took out Minnesota last night. There aren't nights off in this league.
No, you can't take nights off, and their system makes them a difficult matchup. That's what surprised me most about Minnesota losing at Northwestern last night, is because it's a veteran-laden team, a team that has seen that system before and should have been able to adapt and play to a higher sustained level because of their size, their strength, underneath their rebounding ability.
13 points and 8 assists, just 1 turnover on the night. Bring this thing in for a nice landing. You're filling out your ballot for the Wooden Award. Where's Burke's name?
He'll be number 1 on the list right now. Doug McDermott, number 2. Plumlee, number 3. The reason why Burke was number 1 is his impact overall in the game. He can score in all 3 areas. We've seen him drive to the rim. He can shoot the three-pointer from the outside. He's more than comfortable at the mid-range area. He takes care of the ball. He values it. He sets the table for his teammates to be successful.
Coach Beeline raving of all the things he can do, not just a scorer. And all the values taking care of the ball.
He can also defend.
Sure can.
Well, that's why I think right now, if you're looking for the best player in the country, his name is Trey Burke, and he plays here at Michigan.
On the night when Purdue came out and tested them early throughout the first half, they were hitting the threes. Hardaway with a little finish there with the right-hand score.
You credit Purdue. They showed great toughness in the first 20 minutes, and part of the maturation process for the Boilermakers is going to be continued with this young team of learning how to sustain a 20-minute game and turn it into a full 40-minute game.
Number 2 Michigan, 68-53. Will they get themselves to number 1? We'll find out when they play the Illini on Sunday. Coming up next, the first day of X Games Aspen continues. For Sean Farnham, I'm Joe Tessitore. Enjoy the rest of your night, including watching X Games Aspen right now.